Luxury brands don't sell products. That's the first illusion you have to break if you want to understand how they really make money. A handbag is not leather. A watch is not steel. A car is not horsepower. Those are just physical anchors for something far more valuable, something invisible, something psychological. Luxury brands sell meaning, identity, and emotional certainty in a world full of noise. And once you understand that, you realize their business model isn't built on manufacturing excellence alone, but on mastering human behavior at the deepest level. At the surface, luxury looks irrational. Why would someone pay 10 times more for a bag that holds the same items, or a watch that tells the same time as one costing a fraction of the price? Traditional economics fails here because luxury doesn't operate on utility. It operates on signaling. Humans are social creatures wired for status, belonging, and hierarchy. Long before money existed, status determined access to resources, protection, and influence. Luxury brands tap directly into this ancient wiring, wrapping it in modern design and narrative. The hidden business model begins with scarcity, but not the kind most people think of. Luxury brands rarely suffer from production constraints. They choose scarcity. They limit supply not because they can't produce more, but because abundance would destroy the illusion. Scarcity increases perceived value, but more importantly, it creates desire that feels earned. When something is hard to get, the brain assigns it higher worth. Dopamine spikes not at ownership, but in anticipation. Luxury brands stretch that anticipation deliberately, using wait lists, limited drops, and controlled distribution to keep the emotional tension alive. Then there is price, which in luxury is not a cost-based decision, but a psychological one. High prices are not barriers, they are filters. They select the audience. A luxury price point signals exclusivity before the product is ever touched. It tells the buyer, this is not for everyone, and by buying it, you are proving something about yourself. The brain often equates price with quality, but in luxury, price goes further. It becomes a symbol of self-worth, success, and arrival. People don't just buy luxury to own something beautiful, they buy it to resolve an internal question. Have I made it? But here's the deeper layer most people miss. Luxury brands don't target logical decision-making. They bypass it. Their marketing rarely explains features. Instead, it tells stories. Stories about heritage, craftsmanship, legacy, and timelessness. These narratives create emotional safety. In a fast-changing world, luxury promises permanence. When someone buys a luxury product, they are often buying stability, a sense of grounding, and reassurance that they belong to something enduring. This is why heritage brands emphasize decades or centuries of history. Even newer luxury brands manufacture legacy through symbolism and myth. Another hidden pillar of the business model is identity reinforcement. Luxury brands position themselves not as things you use, but as extensions of who you are. Wearing a luxury item becomes a statement, both to others and to yourself. Every time someone sees the logo or feels the weight of the product, it reinforces a specific identity: successful, refined, powerful, discerning. This repetition matters. Identity-based purchases are far more sticky than functional ones. Once someone internalizes a brand as part of who they are, switching feels like a downgrade not just in quality, but in self-concept. This is why luxury brands obsess over consistency. The store lighting, the packaging, the typography, the tone of voice, the customer experience, all of it is carefully controlled. Inconsistency breaks the spell. Luxury relies on cognitive coherence. When everything aligns, the brain relaxes and accepts the price, the weight, and the ritual. You're not just buying an item, you're stepping into a curated psychological environment designed to slow you down, elevate your mood, and reduce price sensitivity. And then there's the role of social proof, which operates quietly but powerfully. Luxury brands don't need mass adoption. They need the right people to be seen with their products. Celebrities, cultural icons, and high-status individuals act as mirrors. When people see someone they admire wearing a brand, the brain shortcuts the evaluation process. It assumes value. This is not imitation, it's aspiration. The product becomes a bridge between current reality and desired future self. What makes this business model extraordinarily profitable is margin. Luxury brands often have gross margins that would shock traditional manufacturers. The cost of materials is a small fraction of the retail price. The real investment is in brand equity, storytelling, and perception management. Once that equity is built, it compounds. Every new product benefits from the existing narrative. The logo itself becomes an asset more valuable than factories or inventory. But here's the paradox. Luxury brands must constantly walk a psychological tightrope. They need growth, but not too much. Visibility, but not saturation. Relevance, but not trend chasing. If a brand becomes too accessible, it loses its aura. If it becomes too distant, it risks irrelevance. The most successful luxury brands understand that their real product is not the item, but controlled desire. They sell just enough to remain aspirational, never enough to feel common. From the consumer side, this model works because it satisfies emotional needs that most people never consciously articulate. Luxury offers certainty in identity, relief from comparison anxiety, and a sense of progress. In a world where success is ambiguous and timelines are unclear, a luxury purchase provides a tangible marker. It says, "I am here now." That emotional payoff often outweighs rational considerations about value or necessity. The real power move, however, is how luxury brands shift time perception. They position their products as timeless, above trends, immune to decay. This reframes spending not as consumption, but as investment. At least psychologically. Even when resale value is irrelevant, the buyer feels they are acquiring something enduring. This reduces buyers' remorse and increases long-term loyalty. When you step back, you realize the hidden business model behind luxury brands is a masterclass in applied psychology. They understand that humans don't buy with spreadsheets. They buy with emotions, narratives, and identity stories they tell themselves. Luxury brands don't compete on features. They compete on meaning. And meaning, once established, is incredibly hard to displace. The lesson here isn't just about brands. It's about wealth itself. The most valuable assets in the modern economy are invisible. Perception, trust, narrative, and emotional resonance drive outcomes more than raw functionality. Whether you're building a business, a career, or personal wealth, understanding this shifts how you allocate energy. You stop chasing volume and start building depth. You stop trying to appeal to everyone and start resonating deeply with a few. Luxury brands win not because their products are perfect, but because they understand people. They understand fear, desire, aspiration, and identity. And they design their entire business model around those truths. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you understand it, you begin to see wealth not as money alone, but as the ability to shape perception, create meaning, and occupy psychological space in the minds of others. That is the real luxury. And that is the business model hiding in plain sight.